Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm not gonna lie, I did goof. I went to set the new release Tuesdays and Mall Mondays. I went to set those two episodes to schedule to upload yesterday and the day before. Today is Wednesday, and something fragged out on YouTube side and it wouldn't fully load the page, and I was at work, so I was like, all right, like that's annoying. I'll let it sit here for a minute, and if it doesn't do anything, then I'll fix it when I get home. And it didn't do anything, but then I got busy doing actual work stuff, and then I did not fix it when I got home, and I realized that I hadn't fixed it. I finally realized my mistake last night at like 11 p.m. and I was like, well, I'm not uploading Mall Mondays and New Release Tuesdays at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. So we will just hopefully be on track this coming week. Of course, I've got the move. My dad and brother, their move-in date is this Sunday. So hopefully I will remember to do these things. In the meantime, I'm honestly just hoping that I remember to actually upload this and get this ready before Thursday. That would be nice. And for anyone wondering, why are we looking at this title card still? Well, here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this lovely loading screen, reminding me to build bridges high enough and avoid overcrowded stations. Yeah, remember when I said the huge, what do they call them, the megalomaniac maps? Yeah, they take a little bit. Survey says. Come on, you can do it. I have faith in you. All right, let's pause that right quick and see what we were doing here, because I'll be quite honest, I don't quite recall. Ah, yes, the copper to the coal to the steel mill. The steel coming up here to be turned into tools, to come back here to deliver the tools, and Philadelphia was a growing city. Hooray! All right. So that can keep on keeping on. We are in 1802. So I think the goal is to maybe get to January 1st, 1805. Maybe. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, let's see if we can't bring any more. I guess we can't really bring industry into the fold. We're a little behind on our accounting here. Okay, so there's that. But we can at least take a look around and see where we're going to go. We want to go to right here. This is what we want. To get this, we need this. And then take it all the way out there. And my reasoning behind that is twofold. Just so everyone knows what I am thinking. So this can take one piece of slag, or one piece of sand, or one piece of marble and one piece of stone, and convert that to 2 bricks. Now, ordinarily, the only way to get brick is to turn 1 stone equals 1 brick. I don't really like that. Now, if I had done this a little better, well, I say a little better, but realistically, I would have used this steel mill because this steel mill would have produced slag as well, and I could have run the slag over here to the construction materials and just gotten bricks that way, and then taken the bricks up there. We didn't do that, and I'm not going to reroute everything to make it so that that's what happens. Not just yet, anyway. Eventually, like I said, we're going to have a big depot right here that's going to be taking all the resources from around here, sending them back out to be fully processed if they need to be, and then sending them to different cities. But in the meantime, you know, we don't have that many funds to play with. And that would be a multi-billion-dollar project. And we are sitting here with just over $1 million and $5.5 million of loan. So, actually, I guess that's the first thing we really want to do, right? Is pay off these loans and try and get that going. So, because this is going to be an expensive endeavor. Taking this to there, to back to there, to back to there. So that loop, and then taking the bricks up via roadway. And on the bright side, this needs fuel, so I can take the bricks one way, take the fuel the other, and then by the time Philadelphia needs fuel, bam, send it up. All good. Easy peasy. So that's not the worst. I think the worst might be that, there's some hills here that we got to kind of watch out for. We're going to have to thread this needle, which is going to mean crossing over these roads. And we're not using these roads at the moment, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but we're going to have to, I think, come through here, hook really hard around these mountains to bring the station in here. And then send it on out this way to there, and then reverse it up, send it all the way back out this way to hook in over here. I think that's the plan. It's not a great plan, but it's the plan we've got. So, we're going to do a freight classification yard. Now, the one problem that I have with this mod is that it overwrites the normal cargo station, so I can't do a cargo terminus here, which is going to make life a little interesting. We're just going to do a 2, right? Or do we do a 4? Do we do a 4? Yeah, we can do a 4. That's fine. That's a lot of money. Do we just do a 2? That's less money. If we need to add tracks later, we will. So we'll drop that in there. Come up here. I'm going to drop one in here if I can. If I can. Yes, I can. Looks a little wonky, but that's okay. Plop that in there. This one here doesn't matter quite as much. I can turn that a little bit to make it line up better with the street. Okay. So, I'm going to need this with 2 tracks without that. Am I gonna have enough turnout here? No, not even close. All right, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do the crossover first. That'll give me enough to head outward. Yeah, so that's fine. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. That was my bad. There we go. Get rid of that. We'll head over to tracks. So one of these is going to have to go this way. Yes. The other one is going to have to go this way. Yes. 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 Okay. So, come back here, do track construction. Find this one. Hook that in. Hook it in on this side. Come back here, find this guy, and then we're going to do the same thing we had done previously for 2 tracks. That is not quite the way that I wanted this to go. 4 tracks. Well, you were working previously, and now you don't seem to want to, so that is alright. We don't need to do it with track construction. We'll do it the normal way. So we're going to send one over that way. But we're also going to send one straight out, if I'm able. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so they can cross over, they can go either direction. Great, grand, wonderful. How are our funds? Almost 2 million. All right. Our funds are staying ahead of our fun times here, so that's good. Realistically, that was goofy of me. That's okay. Realistically, I don't have to do this just yet. I can bring it out this way and break it off here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Break it off right where it has to turn. So as we're going forward, now let's try the parallel tracks and see if it works for me. It did. Good. It did not. Yeah, it doesn't like doing any sort of, you know, you got to go over this. So we're going to go straight here. Okay. So these two are going to continue on. But I'm also going to come right off of here and head that away. Yeah, that'll work. I think I'm good. I can stop looking at the contour lines. That's fine. That'll keep that relatively flat. Put this one in. Alright, so that one's cutting down that way. This one's going to have to make a hard turn to get away from there. Because we don't want to run through the fields. So we'll do it like that. Should line us up outside of the farm. And we are going... I guess realistically I could have gone to the other side of the farm, but that's okay. This out to here. Losing money kind of rapidly here, which is unfortunate. Nope, not there just yet. So we'll just keep going forward. Keep this one going forward. We're going to swing these tracks in, if I can. Right into there, and there, and then hook them in. Just want it to continue kind of natural-like. There we go. And then I'm only running one set of tracks out this way. Realistically, I don't need this other set. Because nobody's coming back on this track. I need both sets of tracks here. That doesn't matter just yet. I will fix that in a moment. And then where the hell am I trying to get to here? Right over there. Okay. Swing left around the mine, and then swoop back in. That'll be fine. It's gonna be a long fucking train ride, I'll tell you what. I want to get kind of close to this stone, but not on top of it. That way, once we have the hub, we're going to try and reuse a lot of this track. So we'll just be able to drop a station over here and then just connect it in on the main line. And that will be fine. And then this one, I did not have to do all of this stuff. Yeah, I didn't have to do all that. That's all right. The plan was solid. Didn't end up needing to execute the plan. So we're running these tracks down. They can split and come this way when they're dropping that stuff off. And then when they're going back, they go out that way. So the other thing I need to link up here is a truck stop. Whoop, that's rail, not what I'm looking for. Ooh, I don't have the passenger trams yet, otherwise that would be interesting. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure this with a cargo building. I'm going to set this up with a main building over on this side somewhere, I think. Where's that town at? That town's over there. So I'm going to hook this up with a building. We won't put it on the side. We'll put it over here. That's fine. While I'm here, I may as well put some of these invisible buildings in, just so I don't forget to do it later. Now that we have that building in, we should be able to swing this around. And then that's going to connect to that. Let's swing it this way. You don't like that idea? Okay. Well, that's all right. We can hook it in like this. We go into configure. We, of course, put in an invisible building. That's fine. That's fine. Put it over there. We can get rid of this and then put an entrance back here and an exit up here, maybe? Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we grab our lovely roads. Take this, hook it in, and then take this and hook it in. That's fine. But that way we can actually get the fuel and whatnot out of here. Now, somewhere. So we need to set up the signals. We do have money for this still, which is nice. So we're going to set up signals going this way. They're going to get to here. We want to be able to stop them there. And then going that away. Bring them all the way up to here. Coming out of here, they want to go this way. Bring them right up to the edge. Take them that way. Just going to bring them good and close to here. We're going to spin it around. Send signals back the other way. But when these get to the break, so they're going to hold here, go a little bit past, and then continue on. And then, it's fine, they can stop there. And I will send them on from here. There we go. So, now that I have that, I guess I start the trains off from up this way just so the sand has a chance to get going. That seems like a good idea. Let's make sure we're doing this at the right spot. I'm doing this at the wrong spot. I'm gonna do it back here. Turn off auto sig. Put one here, and we'll put one here just to keep stuff moving a little bit easier. Drop this guy right about here, I think. And then, should be everything. Need to set up a line. Going from here to here. To here. Yeah, and then we want to be able to use either stop, either stop, either stop. And this is rail And this one will go with... Oh, that's already copper, so... You know, your sand will just make you yellow. That'll be fine. Cool. Looks good to me. Got to make sure that we come over here and configure these with their miscellaneous invisible buildings so that we make sure that we've got plenty there. Come over here, do the same thing. Okay. And then where's Philly? Philly connects to here, right? Yes. Which means we will connect Philly from here. Cut across. We'll dodge that contour line. We don't want to deal with that. Go. Put that in. Turn that off. This goes into this city. So we want a truck stop to be right here. And where do the bricks want to go up here? Put the brick one. Guess over here. Seems fine. Bricks there. And then we are going to run from truck stop, Philly, bricks to Philly. Good, good. For the moment, we will buy a single thing and put it there. And then for this other one, what's that? Sterling Heights. So we have that in. So we want a line going from here to here. Go. Fuel to Sterling Heights. We'll do the same thing we just did. We'll grab a vehicle from here. Throw that on that line. And the reason that we're just throwing a single car on each line is this will not generate fuel if there's nowhere to take the fuel, and this will not generate any bricks if there's not someone willing to accept the bricks right away. So, while all that's done, we're going to grab our trusty horses. We're going to grab our tramway wagons that can hold the oil sand, the sand, and the fuel. They can also hold bricks, but we won't need them to. So we want to make sure that our stuff stays good here. We're going to buy 2 of these, take both of them, and we're going to put them on this line. So there they go. So this is starting to generate fuel sand. And these can hold how much? 80? So you know what? Real quick, we're just going to tell it when it gets here, we want it to wait for a full load. And it can wait for an indefinite amount of time. That's not going to really matter once we get things up and running, but for now, I just don't want them to be deadheading to the next stop because they're going to be expensive if they do that. It's going to take them a very long time to complete the full loop to get back there. So I would rather them just stop, wait for a full load the first time around. So let's see. Sometimes these get a little goofy and they don't want to use both stations the first time through. And sometimes they do. So we'll see. Is this guy just going to pull straight in? Hey, you love to see it. You love to see it. So that guy's on his way. So we're going to pin him for the moment just so we can follow his progress. He's heading out. This guy's filling up. He's going to be there for a moment. So we can stop watching that so that this stops being highlighted. We can see all the sand and whatnot. And if I turn the speed down a little bit here. There we go. You can see the stuff being shaken up here and falling onto the conveyor belts and coming up here to the crusher. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But let's get the speed going again. Let's see how we do. So we are all the way up here. So our money is definitely slowing down a little bit. We're still making some here, you know. Making good money, making good money, making good money. Actually making money, which I'm surprised by. Again, Philly Flash was our sacrificial lamb, just to promote some city growth. So we do have a goodly ways for this train to go. Hang out over here by this fuel refinery. Now I'm not going to tell, you know what? I'm not going to tell him to wait for a full load while he's here, but I will say full load all, but your maximum stop time is 3 minutes, just so he'll hang out for a little bit and collect at least some, because he's bringing up 80, but the most he can get is 40 fuel and 40 sand. And I think it's going to take longer than 3 minutes for that to, for the refinery to process all that. Tell you what, man, it is 80 degrees. It is March 11th. That is insanity. And they're calling for snow tomorrow. I want you to consider that for a moment. It is 80 degrees right now. 6:03 in the evening. 80 degrees. They're calling for snow tomorrow because the low tomorrow is 27. Absolute insanity. Oh, and that thunderstorm that looked like it was going to miss us is now back for 7 o'clock. Alright, so this dude just made almost $1 million. So that's nice. We're going to fill him up. Well, not fill him up, but we'll let him sit here for a minute. We got his buddy coming in behind him. So we'll get a little closer for that. Alright, he's on his way. So this guy's going to start filling up. So we had the refinery there. We're going to grab one of these guys and we're going to clone them. Put another train out there on the tracks. So realistically, I only needed a single track between from there to there, there to there, and there to there. I realistically only needed single tracking, not double, but it's alright. Alright, so they're both running back with comparable stuff. Possible I should have set the wait time to 5 minutes, but that's okay. They're comparable, and there will be some stuff here waiting when they get back. Oh, you know what? The other thing I didn't consider, we don't need that much fuel. We'll take lots of bricks. This brick thing will take, you know, 100 sand to make 200 bricks. It will only ship as many bricks as Philly currently needs because they're the only one demanding it, but that's 76, so that's pretty good. But Sterling Heights only requires 31 fuel, so for every 100 fuel that we make, we're not really getting the full shebang, which is a little unfortunate. So that guy should be pulling out of there with 80 fuel sand. Got a guy coming back, guy coming back. No, we made it way past 1805, where I thought we'd be. Then again, I've just kind of been letting time go so that we still continue to make money. That's the other fun thing. Just got a text from a couple buddies of ours who also happen to be neighbors, and they asked me if I got the keys today. I did. I have the keys for my father and brother's place. Picked those up today. Been fighting with Pico and a few other companies, but everything's mostly squared away at the moment. Took a trip to IKEA earlier, bought a bunch of furniture. So hopefully my hope, because I know my wife and I are going to Costco tomorrow to pick up the remainder of what we need, or most of the remainder. We might need one more dresser, I'm not sure. But we're going to Costco tomorrow to pick up most of the rest of what we need. And then Friday, maybe? Either tomorrow or Friday, I'll be bringing furniture into the apartment. Mostly IKEA boxes that I need to build. And Grace, I think, took off Friday so that she can actually build stuff. And then when I get out of work, I'll be able to jump in and build stuff as well. And then I have to go back to work to start building some stuff up. you know, for actual AV stuff, I need to go back and break stuff down and get stuff ready. What do we have? We have plenty of space here, but we're gonna manage the vehicles on this line, and we're gonna go clone. We're gonna double it up, and we're gonna go clone. Then we're gonna look at this line, and we're gonna manage these vehicles, and we're gonna go clone. Grab them both, clone. So now we've got more vehicles doing that, and then we'll grab one of these trains. We'll manage him, and we'll go clone. So we'll have more trains running on this line. And there's 1.4, so I should be able to clone it again. There we go. Get more trains on this line. The more of the fuel sand we can move, the better. So this train's heading out. What's he got? 50 sand, 30 fuel. It's what I like to see. So he's actually going back with a full load. So I'll be curious to see what he actually makes. Because he made 746 bringing the fuel sand to the refinery, and then 715 taking a half load back up the other way. This guy's got a full load, so I'll be able to see more or less, the actual numbers I'll be dealing with. So this guy has, he's running at a bit of a deficit at the moment, but that's okay. We've got more truckies on the way down. So there's plenty of brick, plenty of fuel waiting to be picked up. And one other thing, while I'm thinking of it, I noticed that we're not delivering quite enough tools to this place. Is that because the tool coverage isn't there? No, the tool coverage should be there. I might just not be doing it at the frequency that I need to. Not a whole hell of a lot I can do with that at the moment, though. I mean, there's a lot of trucks going back and forth here. So. Alright, we are in the negative. Where is this guy? Wait, that's not the right guy, is it? Did he already make it all the way back here? No, he couldn't have, right? Maybe he could have. I didn't think he could have, though. Yeah, 50 and 30. Okay. Yeah, it's this guy that I'm waiting for. That makes more sense. And then Mr. Truckee, what are you going to get? When you drop off, you are going to get $8,400. Not bad. Do I have any of the brick people yet? Nope, that'll be this guy, I think. Yeah, I think he'll be my first one with bricks. I'll keep an eye on him. I think we're going to have a couple trains coming in here back to back. Yeah. So 4 trains that are all going to make their way in there. This guy's heading the other direction. He's getting there. Trucks coming in. Here comes our lovely train. We're just waiting for him to stop. And how much money are you going to get us? I did not happen to see. You sold everything for $1.3 million, which covers the cost of another train. Look at that. So, we know that's good. This guy's going to take a little while to get back to where he's going, but so we have sand stored up, which is going to just put more bricks here. We've got fuel here. We have trains heading out. Should have some trains dropping off in here. Some dropping off, some leaving. Nah, not enough money to clone him just yet. But when this guy pulls in, we might be able to. The music playing, yeah, I don't keep the music turned on in the game because I don't know what's going to trigger a copyright strike on YouTube or not. Let's grab this guy again. Let's just make sure we're in a position to immediately drop another clone's train in. So this run is making us, you know, there's $3 million on the balance sheet right now for this train. So this is going to be the route, I think, that finances a lot of what we're doing going forward, especially once we hit the 1820s, what have you, and we start getting some of the early iterations of the steam-powered locomotives. I think the Baldwin becomes available in 1920, which is the Baldwin 6 wheels, which not only has more pulling power than these horses, because the early steam locomotives, like if I were to buy this, it's a cool little locomotive. Its tractive effort is trash. It has a top speed of 10. Tractive effort of, what's that? 500. So over triple the tractive effort and goes faster. You kind of want to stick with horses for the very early part if you're playing from the 1800s forward. The steam at this generation is more of a novelty than anything to actually write home about. Hey, this guy's almost back where he needs to get to. That's cool. But once we get the Baldwin 6 wheels, I think that gets up to 25 miles an hour. It has more tractive effort. So the trains will be going faster, which means they're delivering their goods faster. They're getting paid more. And obviously they're just able to cycle through faster. And as we're going through, you know, we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna make, you know, we're obviously gonna go through the origins of steam. You know, we might have a rocket in there. Who knows? This guy's going to make $22,000 for dropping off 4 bricks. And that just clears everything he'd been doing before that. In fact, the bricks to Philly is now running in the positive, which is incredible. In fact, might be able to do this. There we go. Let's get 4 more vehicles onto that line. That'll be fine. So yeah, we have a long way to go. It's only 1806. We will likely be taking this up through the 2050s, if not longer. The game plan eventually is to be bringing all 6 kinds of goods to every town, connect all of these resources together. That's one achievement I will say I've never gotten. I have attempted to do this many times, and I usually get distracted. So I'm hoping, you know, doing it as a YouTube series will keep me a bit more motivated. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we've got fuel coming in. We've got sand coming in. We're at negative $667,000. Something just came in because that moved. Negative 420,411. Stuff's constantly, you know, shifting. Now we're in the positive at 300 some odd thousand. And that's before our 2 friends get here. What are you hauling? You are not full, but this guy is. So there's 1.3 mil, and then he's just immediately back off on his way. Sand's here to make bricks. This guy that's not even half full. So a little over 600K. Maybe. Fine. Don't tell me. That's cool too. Yeah, 618K. Oh, and then another train pulling in with another a little more than half a load here. And then a train right behind him with stuff. So now we're going to start raking it in a little bit, I think, here. $747,000. He'll turn around and start making his way back. This guy's going to pull in. $487,000. Would you look at that? We're going to repay most of this debt. Loans down to $1 million. We're in the negative at the moment. Obviously, we're not worried about being in the negative because we are very, very cash positive here. Especially when some of the trains are rolling out completely full. So these 2 trains are both worth 1.3 million. So that is absolutely glorious. So, and then we'll see if we can get Philly to grow more. We're at 410 residents right now. So as Philly grows and grows and grows, we'll get more and more and more. and then we'll see what the next things Philly is going to require are. And we can look at the suppliers and see that we're getting it from the Sterling Heights Construction Company, the Arvada Tools Factory, and here are the other factories and whatnot on the map. So you can see there are quite a few of them. I have not found them all yet, but they do exist. And we can start branching out from here, taking tools over this way. We can start taking maybe bricks over here, but a lot of that will come once I start setting the hub up and just start bringing all of these resources to one central location, and then discharging them to go where they need to go. And you might be asking yourself, like, is that really worth it? I find that it is. Instead of doing a bunch of point-to-points, I bring everything in an area to one central location, usually somewhere near the capital. And the reason for that is the capital is obviously the city we want to grow the most. That's going to be our beacon of humanity. We will also set up hubs in, the corners of the map to grab all the resources from around here, bring them all to the central location, and send them out from there. So it's going to be fun. But as 1806 draws to a close, so too will this video. I hope that everybody had fun. Hope you've been enjoying it so far. And I will see everybody next time.